Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. 3 ingredients: a skillet, a pot of simmering water, and a bowl. And somehow, what comes out the other side sounds like something you'd pay $18 for at a weekend brunch spot. Today, we're breaking down the unexpectedly perfect snack of butter-seared new potatoes, a poached egg, and a soft lettuce-onion salad. By the end of this episode, you'll understand exactly why this combination works, the technique behind each component, the nutrition that makes it genuinely good for you, and how to pull it off at home without any drama. My co-host has been deep in the weeds on this one, and I have to say, I was skeptical when this topic landed on my desk.
Skeptical is fair. On paper, it sounds almost too simple to be interesting.
Right, like potatoes, an egg, some lettuce. That's a snack?
That's exactly the thing, though. The simplicity is kind of the whole point. And once you dig into what each element is actually doing, texturally, nutritionally, even historically, it stops feeling like a random fridge raid and starts feeling almost deliberate.
Okay, let's start at the foundation then. The potatoes. What makes new potatoes specifically the right call here, as opposed to just any potato?
So new potatoes have this really distinct character compared to your standard russet or starchy baking potato. According to Wook Wellesley's guide on pan frying, new potatoes have a lower starch content, which means they hold their shape during cooking and don't turn mushy. Their skins are thin and edible, so you don't even need to peel them. And they have this subtly sweet flavor that you just don't get from a regular potato.
And the waxy texture, that's the key thing, right?
Exactly. Waxier varieties like Yukon Gold or small red potatoes are particularly well suited for pan frying because that lower starch content is what prevents them from falling apart. You want a potato that can take the heat of a skillet and come out with a crispy exterior and a creamy, tender interior, not a pile of mush.
So what's the actual technique for getting that crispy exterior? Because I feel like I've tried to pan fry potatoes before and they just kind of steam themselves into sadness.
Yeah, that's a really common outcome. The Wook Wellesley guide actually recommends parboiling first, which is a step a lot of people skip. You put the cut potatoes in cold, salted water, bring it to a boil and cook for about 5 to 7 minutes until they're slightly softened but not fully cooked. Then you drain them and let them steam dry for a few minutes. That step removes excess moisture, and that's what promotes crisping when they hit the pan.
Oh, the steam dry step. That's the one people miss.
100%. Moisture is the enemy of a good sear. And then when you do put them in the pan, Greenway Kitchen's guide is really clear. You need a heavy bottom skillet, you heat the butter over medium-high heat, and you add the potatoes in a single layer. No overcrowding. Overcrowding the pan is what causes that steaming effect you're describing.
And the butter specifically, why butter over just oil?
So Wook Wellesley actually suggests a knob of butter added towards the end of cooking. And the reason is that butter imparts what they describe as a rich, nutty flavor. It's not just fat, it's flavor. Greenway Kitchen also mentions that a combination of olive oil and butter works well, where the oil handles the high heat and the butter comes in at the end for that richness. You get the best of both.
That's actually a really smart move. Use the oil for the cooking, finish with butter for the flavor.
Exactly. And then you can finish with fresh herbs, parsley, chives, even rosemary or thyme. Greenway Kitchen specifically calls out parsley, cilantro, or chives as a great finishing touch. That's when the potatoes go from good to genuinely great.
Okay, so we've got these golden, herb-finished, butter-seared potatoes. Now let's talk about the salad component. Soft lettuce and onion, how does that fit in?
This is where it gets interesting, because the lettuce and potato combination has more history behind it than you'd think. Eating Well actually traced the roots of potato salad back to German immigrants in the 19th century, who brought their version, cubed potatoes tossed with vinegar and onions, to the United States. So the idea of pairing potatoes with something bright and acidic and fresh is genuinely old.
Wait, so the potato salad pairing isn't some modern food trend? It's actually centuries old?
Pretty much. The creamy mayo-based version we think of as classic American potato salad only came about in the early 20th century after commercial mayonnaise hit the market. Before that, it was much more about vinegar and onions, which is actually closer to what we're talking about here.
So the soft lettuce onion salad is almost a callback to that original concept.
In a way, yeah. And Molly Brown over at Molly's Home Guide makes a really compelling case for why lettuce specifically works so well with potatoes. She writes that adding crisp lettuce to potato salad adds a fresh crunch that regular potato salad is missing, and it makes the whole dish feel lighter. She says now when she makes potato salad without lettuce, it feels like something's missing.
That's such a good point. The lettuce is doing textural work, not just filling space.
Exactly. And the onion, whether you go red onion or green onion, adds that sharp, slightly pungent contrast to the richness of the butter-seared potatoes. The Mr. Cook recipe for classic potato and lettuce salad uses finely sliced red onion with a white wine vinegar and Dijon mustard dressing, and that combination of acid and sharpness is what cuts through the fat.
So the salad isn't just a side, it's actually balancing the whole plate.
Right, it's doing real work. The butter-seared potatoes are rich and savory, and the soft lettuce-onion salad brings brightness and freshness. They need each other.
Okay, and then there's the poached egg sitting on top of all of this. Let's talk about that, because I think the egg is the part that elevates this from a side dish to something that actually fills you up.
The egg is doing a lot of heavy lifting here, nutritionally speaking. According to My Kitchen Gallery, one large poached egg contains about 70 calories, 6 grams of protein, virtually no carbohydrates, and a small amount of fat, mostly from the yolk. And it's rich in vitamin D, choline, and iodine, which are essential for bone health, brain function, and thyroid function, respectively.
That's a lot of nutritional value for 70 calories.
It really is. And the yolk specifically is a source of antioxidants, lutein and zeaxanthin, which My Kitchen Gallery notes play a crucial role in protecting eye health. So you've got protein, brain-supporting choline, eye-protecting antioxidants, all in one egg.
And why poached specifically? Why not just fry it or scramble it?
So Nature World has a really thorough breakdown of this. Poaching is considered one of the healthiest ways to cook eggs because the cooking temperature is lower than frying, which means the fat and cholesterol in the yolk are less affected by oxidation. Oxidation is what degrades the nutritional properties. And because you're cooking in water without added oil or butter, you're not adding extra calories to the egg itself.
So the egg is already getting butter from the potatoes. You don't need to add more fat to the egg on top of that.
Exactly. The plate is balanced. The butter is on the potatoes, the egg is clean, and the salad brings the acid. Everything has a role. And Nature World also points out that poached eggs are 76% water, 12.5% protein, and 9.5% fat. So they're actually quite light on the stomach despite feeling satisfying.
Okay, I want to push back on something though. This sounds like a full meal to me. Calling it a snack feels like a stretch, am I wrong?
That's a fair challenge. And honestly, the line between a snack and a light meal is pretty blurry. But here's the thing, the Living Looks wellness guide on poached egg salad makes the point that this kind of dish functions as both a light lunch and a protein-forward breakfast. It's especially valuable for people managing appetite cues or postprandial fatigue. That's the energy crash you get after eating.
So it's designed to keep you going without weighing you down.
Exactly. And the Living Look specifically notes that one large poached egg provides around 70 calories and 6 grams of high-quality protein, which supports fullness longer than equivalent carbohydrate-only meals. So you're getting satiety without the heaviness. That's the snack argument. It fills the gap without putting you to sleep.
And the American Institute for Cancer Research actually has something to say about this kind of snacking approach, right?
Yeah, and it's worth flagging. The AICR, in their piece by registered dietitian Cara Rosenblum, makes the point that snacks make up about 1/3 of our daily calories. So the choices we make when snacking have a genuinely significant impact on overall health. And their recommendation is to choose snacks rich in protein and fiber, because that combination keeps you full longer and provides lasting energy between meals.
And this plate hits both of those.
It does. The egg brings the protein, the potatoes and the lettuce bring fiber and complex carbohydrates, and the fat from the butter helps with satiety too. It's not accidental that this combination works, it's almost textbook.
There's also something Harvard Health said about food synergy that feels relevant here.
Yes, Harvard Health published a piece on what they call nutritional power couples, and the core idea is that some foods work synergistically, meaning their combined effect is greater than the sum of their parts. Dietitian Nancy Oliveira from Harvard-affiliated Brigham and Women's Hospital is quoted saying that creating snack pairings with a few components, rather than eating each one alone, means you'll get a variety of nutrients, potentially improve vitamin absorption, and feel more satisfied for longer.
So the butter on the potatoes isn't just flavor, it's actually helping you absorb fat-soluble nutrients from the greens.
That's the idea. Fat-soluble vitamins need dietary fat to be absorbed properly. So the butter isn't just indulgence, it's functional. And the egg's choline, which My Kitchen Gallery notes is converted into acetylcholine in the brain, a neurotransmitter involved in memory and cognitive function. That's another layer of nutritional value that you're getting almost by accident.
By accident is the right phrase. Nobody sits down to make this thinking, I'm optimizing my choline intake.
Ha, right, you're just hungry and you have potatoes and eggs. But the outcome is genuinely good for you. And the Living Look makes the point that the rise of poached egg salad as a format isn't tied to fad diets. It's rooted in accessibility, minimal equipment needs, and alignment with Mediterranean and Dash dietary patterns. These are two of the most evidence-backed eating patterns out there.
That's actually a really important distinction. This isn't a trend, it's just good food that happens to be good for you.
And it's budget-friendly. Molly's Home Guide specifically calls out that the potato-lettuce combination uses common pantry staples and affordable produce. You're not sourcing anything exotic here.
Let me ask you something. Is there a version of this that doesn't work? Like, what are the failure modes?
Great question. The biggest failure mode with the potatoes is overcrowding the pan. Greenway Kitchen is really emphatic about this. If you overcrowd, the potatoes steam instead of sear, and you lose that crispy exterior entirely. The second failure mode is skipping the parboil step. If you try to pan-fry raw new potatoes from scratch, the outside burns before the inside cooks through.
And with the egg?
Overcooking. NatureWord specifically notes that overcooked eggs increase sulfur compounds, which affects both flavor and digestibility. You want the whites set and the yolk still runny. That's when the egg is at its best texturally and nutritionally. The yolk running into the potatoes and the salad is actually part of what makes the whole plate come together.
Oh, that's a good point. The runny yolk becomes part of the dressing almost.
Exactly. It coats everything. And with the salad, the failure mode is using a delicate lettuce like spring mix. Molly's Home Guide warns against that because it wilts too quickly. You want something with a bit more structure, like butter lettuce or romaine, that can hold up against the warm potatoes.
So the lettuce choice actually matters more than people think.
It does. Butter lettuce is actually a great call here because it's soft enough to feel delicate, but sturdy enough not to collapse immediately. And the name is almost poetic given that you're pairing it with butter-seared potatoes.
Ha, butter lettuce with butter potatoes. That's almost too on the nose.
It really is, but it works.
What about the dressing for the salad? Is there a right answer there?
The search results point pretty consistently towards something acid-based. The Mr. Cook recipe uses white wine vinegar and Dijon mustard with olive oil. The lettuce, onion, potato recipe from the AI recipe generator uses lemon juice and Dijon mustard. The Living Look recommends lemon juice and olive oil as the classic whole food build for a poached egg salad. The common thread is acid, something that cuts through the richness of the butter and the egg yolk.
So you're not reaching for mayo here.
Not for this one. Mayo has its place. The classic American potato salad is a whole separate and beloved thing. But for this particular plate, where the goal is something light and bright that lets the butter-seared potatoes and the eggs shine, a simple vinaigrette is the move.
And the onion in the salad, raw or cooked?
The search results show both approaches working. The Mr. Cook recipe uses finely sliced raw red onion, which gives you that sharp bite. The lettuce, onion, potato recipe from the AI generator caramelizes the onion first, which gives you sweetness instead of sharpness. Both work, it just depends on whether you want contrast or harmony with the richness of the potatoes.
I feel like raw onion is the bolder choice. More contrast.
It is. And if you want to soften the sharpness without fully caramelizing, you can just soak the sliced onion in cold water for 10 minutes. Takes the edge off without losing the flavor.
That's a good tip. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. We've been talking about technique and nutrition, but I want to ask, why does this combination feel so satisfying? Like, beyond the macros and the method, what's the actual experience of eating it?
I think it comes down to contrast. You've got hot and cold, the warm potatoes and egg against the cool, crisp salad. You've got rich and bright, the butter and yolk against the vinaigrette. You've got soft and crispy, the creamy interior of the potato against the seared exterior. Every bite has something different happening, and that's what makes food feel satisfying rather than monotonous.
It's a complete sensory experience in a bowl.
And it's achievable in under 30 minutes with ingredients that cost almost nothing. Molly's Home Guide puts the prep-to-table time for the potato-lettuce combination at 30 to 40 minutes. Add a poached egg and you're not adding much time at all. Poaching takes maybe 3 to 4 minutes.
So this is genuinely a weeknight, low-effort, high-reward situation.
That's exactly what it is. And the Living Looks Guide notes that the appeal of poached egg salad is partly rooted in minimal equipment needs. You need a skillet, a pot, and a bowl. That's it.
All right, so when you step back from everything we've covered, the technique, the history, the nutrition, the sensory experience, what's the actual takeaway here?
Here's what this really comes down to. This plate is a masterclass in how simple ingredients, treated with a bit of intention, can punch way above their weight. The new potatoes, parboiled and then butter seared in a heavy skillet, give you that crispy outside, creamy inside texture that makes them genuinely craveable. The soft lettuce onion salad, dressed with something acidic, brings the freshness and contrast that stops the whole thing from feeling heavy. And the poached egg ties it together with protein, choline, and that runny yolk that becomes its own sauce.
And nutritionally, it's not just good, it's actually synergistic. Harvard Health's concept of food pairings working better together than apart applies directly here.
Right. The fat from the butter helps absorb fat-soluble nutrients from the greens. The protein from the egg keeps you full longer than a carb-only snack would. The acid in the dressing makes everything taste brighter. These aren't happy accidents. They're the reason this combination keeps showing up across different food traditions and cultures.
And the AICR's point that snacks make up about a third of our daily calories, that reframes this whole conversation. If you're going to snack anyway, you might as well snack on something that actually does something for you.
Exactly. And the actionable version of all of this is pretty straightforward. Get small, waxy new potatoes, Yukon Gold or small red potatoes. Parboil them for 5 to 7 minutes, let them steam dry, then sear them in a heavy skillet with a combination of oil and butter until golden. Finish with fresh herbs. Toss some butter lettuce and thinly sliced red onion with a simple lemon or vinegar dressing. Poach your egg gently, whites set, yolk still runny, plate it all together and let that yolk break over everything.
That's it. That's the whole recipe.
That's genuinely it. And the result is something that tastes like it took a lot more effort than it did.
Which brings us back to where we started. A plate that sounds like an $18 brunch item. Turns out it's just good technique, good ingredients, and a little bit of understanding about why things work together.
And that's the thing about food that's genuinely satisfying. It's rarely complicated. It's usually just a few things done right.
Next time you're staring into the fridge wondering what to eat, remember, new potatoes, an egg, some lettuce, and a bit of butter. You're not just throwing something together, you're making something that's been working for centuries.
Thanks for listening to Copilot Podcasts.